Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I just want to clarify to the nation, really, that first and foremost, it is a matter of fact that the Gen Z and indeed the public have been calling for the reduction in salaries paid to senior state officers and public officers, including members of parliament. And therefore, it would be insensitive for us as members of parliament to accept any purported salary increment amidst the rage that is out there. As a matter of fact, again, I want to go on record that I, together with my deputy, Honorable Mbui, have rejected in totality the purported salary increment by the SRC.
I think we need to give you
and we are asking the National Treasury to reallocate that money towards employing the JSS teachers, towards employing health workers, and in fact towards helping the youth who are out there struggling to get gainful employment. I'll be, of course, together with my deputy, calling upon my colleague members to follow suit. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
If there's something my colleagues may want to add, but you may have noticed that over the weekend, while in Kitui, I did call for the possibility of a snap election, and actually gave comparison between Kenya and what is happening elsewhere in the region. When the French President Macron realized that his party lost majority during the recent European elections, he called for a snap election. The French are on to that. Tomorrow, the 4th, Prime Minister of the UK, Mr. Sunak, also called for elections, really literally snap elections, on July the 4th, all over the UK. This is a moment for Kenya. But that's why we are calling for very quick enactment of the IBC Amendment Bill 2024. So at least there may be a possibility, assuming the youth in this country will allow that opportunity to happen. So that's one of the things that we made very clear over the weekend. And again, we looked at what happened in Parliament, the desecration of Parliament. There's blood right outside the entrance to Parliament. And we suspect, I've never gotten this confirmation, the young man who sat on the Speaker's chair was brought down. Blood right in the chamber. How, in all honesty, will members of Parliament want to sit in a place like that? These are some of the questions that we must ask as leaders. But, Mheshimiwa Eugene,
Are there any questions?
If there are questions, I can deal with them.
The African Governance Report of 2023 under the African Peer Review Mechanism actually highlighted this particular issue.
Speak out.
Highlighted this particular issue.
You know, you can step out a bit
and speak
so
up.
we can hear you.
The African Governance
You just come right there
Okay.
so we can hear you.
Yes.
Yeah, because the media actually, so the media can focus on you.
The African Governance Architecture under the African Peer Review Mechanism gave a report on governance, and they highlighted these particular issues on youth, on unemployment, on various other things. And there's also a plethora of issues within this particular report. Are you calling for a transition committee? And in this particular transition committee, who do you have in mind as a new?
Transition committee at the national level?
Yeah.
That is where if the institutions...
Perhaps also considering the youth are also disgruntled with these particular institutions to include parliament and perhaps the judiciary. And that can be witnessed by the banning of parliament and the banning of the judiciary. So, what can you say about that?
That is a lot of food for thought, but Jeremiah, I think you had given some thought to it.
No, let me just say, clearly, when the Generation Z started with the Reject Finance Bill, there are those who had estimated their resolve. And what we have before us now is hashtag Ruto must resign. What we hold as Azimio also is that the executive plus the legislature should give way so that we can be able to get a new start. We need radical reforms in the country. We do not want cosmetic application. We actually need a radical reconstructive surgery of the institutions that have been affected. And with this, of course, we will be inviting even the judiciary to look at possibilities of helping us through this transition. But it is an issue that needs to be processed by us properly so that we are able to come up with an idea or a suggestion that will ensure that the country moves on. What we do not want is the country to go the Somalia way. But we are certain that we cannot be able to live any longer with William in power, with William and his cabinet in office, and equally with a parliament that have been impeached. So we have provisions in the Constitution. You can look at Article 134 all the way to Article 146, and we need to interpret them a little bit more liberally so that we can be able to get ourselves out of where we are. And it is possible for us to transit from where we are to a next system which is more inclusive and perhaps one that can help us navigate through the difficulties that we are in. The only other thing that I can also add is the issue of financing. There is a struggle with the Ruto to try and assign financing to individuals all over. The Generation Z or Generation Z were being financed by their parents. Bus fare, pesa ya kunywa chai, pesa ya kurudi nyumbani, bundles, that is the financing that was being done by parents. So if you are looking for who was financing, go for the parents. Stop scapegoating and stop hiring goons, like it has been said.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Another question, or we probably end it up there?
There's one on this side.
I think you better be seen by your colleagues.
You think? Yes,
These are days of absolute transparency.
What I think?
You will not ask a question in secrecy.
Yeah.
So, anyway, go ahead.
The issue of the pay hike, as a meal, given a directive to the coalition governance, we get the pay hike.
The pay rise. We're going to do that. I think that, well,
It was
he has spoken on behalf of
MPs, yeah.
the National Assembly. This goes to all our governors, all our MCAs, right? Complete and total rejection. In fact, it's like kicking our youth on the teeth. When they have been shedding blood to have a better country, then you go and do the opposite.
Yeah, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.